Number 7, what do you think of the characters? Belina.
Okay, Galena. I think that's like, when I first saw that, I thought that was like really cute and different because it's, it's a sequel, so you're expecting more fantasy things. So, that makes it a bit more, just like a cute extra right there.
The Wheelers.
It's just gonna seem weird, but I don't know what I think about now, but when I first saw the Wheelers, I thought some of them were kind of cute. I think that's obviously one of the things that made the movie dark. I actually, in a way, I felt bad for them because it must be really lousy having to move around on wheels all the time. The other part, they were really horrible people to like gang up on a little girl like that. And wasn't that part of the sand so strange and creepy? When you turn to sand and you just fall apart, and you just see them do that.
And TikTok.
TikTok, yeah, TikTok would be so amazing if you didn't have to be wound up all the time. But at least he was a good friend to Dorothy, and he's kind of cutesy looking.
Mombi.
Mombi, she was kind of strange. I didn't know what to think of her. I guess I didn't care a whole lot about her character. For some reason, despite all those heads and her taking them from those women, she still didn't seem as scary as the original witch. I guess because the original witch in Wizard of Oz with Judy Garland was much more frightening. But I guess she was okay. I mean, she was really about as exciting as, our famous villainess in Supergirl movie, which is really not saying a whole lot.
And Jack Pumpkinhead.
I guess there's a couple of different things to say about Jack Pumpkinhead, because in a way it's kind of creepy that she's calling a little girl mom. But I guess, in another way, he's kind of got the brain of a kid, and, well, Pumpkinhead of a kid. And I guess maybe, gosh, I don't know. He was just like left alone for all those years. I guess he missed having somebody love him. Really don't know what to say about him. He's awfully tall, isn't he?
And the Gump.
The Gump. I think that was really cute that was taken from the book. That's about it.
And the Gnome King.
The Gnome King. When I think of the Gnome King, one of the first things I think of, actually, is rock cakes. I always wondered, what did those taste like? And the stuff they were drinking? Curious. And I was wondering, I don't know about the Oz people, but was that doing any damage to Dorothy's body? The Gnome King was very interesting. Much more interesting than Moby.
Okay. And number 8, what do you think of the visual effects?
Gnome King. Very interesting all the way. The Wheelers. The sand part, I forgot the name of the sand. Those are all pretty neat. And even though Mummy wasn't very interesting, like the halls of the heads, that was pretty cool too.
Number 9, what do you think of the music?
The music was okay. I really don't have much to say about the music.
Number 10, how did Michael Eisner treat the film?
I think it was great. I think a good job was done on it. I loved how dark and different it was from the original. I mean, I'd say it's more my favorite than the Judy Garland one because it's completely different. It's nuts. I mean, Judy's, it's got some dark stuff too, but compared to Return to Oz, it's so sugar-coated. And Return to Oz just seems, even in its fantasy world, so much more realistic.
Number 11, what makes it dark to you?
There's actually quite a number of things. With Nicole's presence in the beginning, there's that therapy, that scary therapy that they're going to give her. There's the escape that she makes. There's those wheelers, and then being like gang members, and then them turning into sand when they reach that certain part. There's like those women with all their heads being like lopped off, so that witch can like choose whatever she wants. There's just so many things that's dark in the movie, so it's just hard to pick just one.
Number 12, talk about the Oz community, fan base, and collectibles, and why it means so much to so many people.
I guess it would mean, let's see, I haven't like dived into the fan base of Wizard of Oz. I just know that I love Return to Oz. As for the people, I'm gonna guess, because I really haven't interviewed anybody on it, but I've heard different people like those who collect the Oz books are those who are more into sci-fi and fantasy, those who go to sci-fi conventions and all that, and they just like eat all that kind of stuff up. And there's other people who like it because they like the sugary fantasy type of Dorothy and her adventures and the colors and the music. And as for the collectibles, there's so many, and I'm sure most fat-based people just like totally eat that up. That just brings me down to it. Not that I'm dissing Wizard of Oz or anything like that, but I really don't see any collectibles on Return to Oz. It's just mostly Wizard of Oz. Not that that's bad, but it'd be interesting to see more collectibles for Return to Oz. I'd like to see Veruza Balk as a little statuette, porcelain.
And number 13, should they have put a disclaimer at the start of the film that said, this is not a sequel to the MGM movie? For that matter, is it a sequel?
Would a disclaimer really, really matter? Maybe to some people it might, but you're not going to please anybody either way, because someone's always going to get upset. And as for it being a sequel, yes and no. I mean, it is different from the original, but in some ways it does follow up because, we did have some history in the Scarecrow. We do know that Dorothy has already gone to Oz, and we do know that she was probably telling people about her adventures in Oz at that point. I mean, the things that make it different is that, the Scarecrow was supposed to be made king and left to be king of Oz at the end of the Wizard of Oz, but in the movie they didn't do that. But in Return to Oz, supposedly he was made king before Dorothy left. So, yes and no. And was that it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, thanks.